How's it going, guys? So today I'm gonna make a quick video on how to run an excavator, and they're all pretty similar with each other, especially when you get to this size. They're all gonna work pretty much the same. I mean, the additional features are gonna vary a little bit, but for the most part they're gonna run the same. This is gonna have the standard cat controls. I think there's, what is the Bobcat controls? I'm not gonna even go over that, so just forget about that. So these are cat controls. This is a cat 314E. It's a 2013 model. So I will show you guys how to run an excavator and what you guys need to do before, during, and after you're running it, and just some tips and tricks on how to run it better and become a good operator. So let's get started. So first thing you're gonna do before you even start it up is, number one, you're gonna check the fluids. So you're gonna go up, and this one's up here, and the oil is in the engine bay there, and then I got the hydraulic fluid over here. So that's the first thing you want to do. And the second thing you want to do is check the undercarriage and the machine itself. So you're looking for cracks mainly. You want to inspect it. What's good to have is like a mallet, like a rubber mallet to bang on everything to see if you got any loose tracks, but you want to go underneath, check the undercarriage, especially the chains and the bushings, see if there's any cracks. Just give it a good once over and see if there's anything going on there. You also want to go up and look at your stick and the bucket area. This is where it takes the most beating, and you want to go and take a look at everything, looking for cracks, anything out of the ordinary, and check that out. So that's the second thing you want to do, and that's before you even start the machine. So you go around, look for anything, look up on the stick and the boom, just do a quick walk around, check it out. Open the engine compartments. These are locked, but you want to open them up, take a look at the other fluids, the coolant and all that kind of stuff. Make sure everything's good. Look underneath the machine, and maybe just walk around it a few times. So that's what you want to do before you start. The next thing, and on these new machines, what you want to do is turn the key on, and you're gonna wait. So it's gonna run through its diagnostic system, and it's gonna let you know if there's any issues before you start. This one's saying check service parts. There is some servicing I need to do, and it's let me know that I need to do it soon. So that's the next step. So everything's good other than the servicing. So next I'm gonna just start it, and it says warm up mode, power derate. So warm up for 5 minutes, cool down for 5 minutes. I post that there just so everyone knows what to do. So you're gonna warm it up, and while you're warming up, you can go around the machine and look at it some more, or you can grease it. So that's the third thing you need to do, is grease the machine. So there's a bunch of grease fittings everywhere, and you're gonna have to know where they are. There's a lot of hidden ones. I mean, especially in here, this coupler has a bunch of grease fittings that are hidden in here. But there's quite a few. I mean, there's a few here for the stick. There's some out here for the thumb on this one, and there's a bunch up there. I gotta have to lay the stick out and the boom down to get to those up there. There's a few in the back I gotta climb up to get to, and a few down here, and then a few on the blade here. And then there's some for the undercarriage. That's the one that a lot of people forget, is the turret needs to be greased, and you need to grease it. There's 2 grease fittings on this one. You need to grease it and then turn it both ways. Turn it one way a couple times, turn it the other way, go halfway and grease it again. So that's one thing a lot of guys forget, and you don't want to forget that. So once it's kind of warmed up, You know, wait 5 minutes. Then you want to mess with the hydraulics a little bit, play with it, and make sure it's all working right and get it flowing, and then go from there. Then you can start operating. So, you know, I got a few more minutes. I'm just gonna let it warm up. So I'm gonna. Okay, so now that the machine is warmed up, so you want to wait, you know, at least 5 minutes for warm up. You want to just familiarize with yourself the controls. So I'm going to go over the controls here. And one of the most important things in the cab is your hydraulic lockout. So this is to turn the hydraulics on, and this is off. So when you're not running the machine, or if you stop, make sure you turn it off. You know, you turn it on before you start going again. But that is it. Every time you stop, no matter what, even if you're not going to get out of the machine, when you stop, this goes off. So that's one of the number one most important safety rules for running an excavator, is turn your hydraulics off when you stop. Because if you don't, and if you hit this a little bit, you're going to move, and that can be dangerous. It can be deadly to people outside if you're working with other guys. So be careful with that. That's the number one thing, is turn that off. So once you understand how that works, you want to get familiar with the controls. So I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to turn the throttle up. So here we got throttle over here. So I'm going to turn it up just a little bit just to show you guys. So you got the control on the right side. So when I pull that back, that's going to be boom up. So the whole boom's going to come up, and you go forward, the boom goes down. And then, so I'm going to bring this up a little bit just to show you. When I go to the left, that's bucket in, and to the right is bucket out. So you can see I got water in there from the rain. And then when I go to the left side, when I go down, that's stick out, and when I come back, that's stick in. When I go to the left, it's going to turn the whole turret to the left, and the right turret to the right. So that's your main controls. Now you got additional controls on here. I do have a thumb on this machine, and this is the thumb control here. It's really nice. Some of the older machines have a foot control, which is difficult, but this one has a control here for the thumb. When I push forward, it opens up. When I pull back, it closes the thumb. Now there's additional buttons on here. I think one's a horn, one's another accessory. Every machine's gonna be a little different on their button design and configuration. So on this side, this is to run a hammer or any kind of attachment. So when I hook up my hammer, I can use this button here, push forward, and run the hammer. I got additional buttons if I want to use it for other things. But you also have a foot control for the hammer, for an accessory. I don't like using that because when you're running a hammer, the machine's moving, and when you're using your feet, it's a little difficult to control. So I don't like that. Other main controls, your track controls. So this is going to be your left track and your right track. You can use your hands or your feet. Now I only recommend using your feet on flat ground. Now this is a little controversial, but I work on uneven ground all the time, so I know. On flat ground, I use my feet. On unstable, unlevel ground, I use my hands. And the reason why I use my hands is because I get more control with my hands. And it's for safety reasons. What I recommend doing is setting up your stick and your boom and bucket in a position where it's safe, kind of like in that position right there, that's fine. And then move with your hands if you're on unstable or unlevel ground. Now you're gonna get better movement with your hands, and I don't care what anyone says, I don't care how good you are, your hands are gonna be better, because if you're moving on unstable and unlevel ground and the whole machine's rocking, it's gonna be almost impossible to use your feet and be precise with it. So use your hands, and what I like to do is I like to lean forward. I'll grab this oh shit handle right here and lean forward and use my other hand, my left hand, to control it, and I can get real precise movements with it. I only use my feet on the flat ground. Again, for you guys in the mainland that are always on flat ground, yeah, use your feet all the time. That's great. You're lucky. I'm not so lucky here in Hawaii, so we're on level ground, and as you can see, it's not level. I'm on a level pad that I made, but that's pretty much it. And even on this, when I'm running over rocks and stuff, it's rocking all over the place. So that's my advice to you guys on how to use your track controls. Now, other features that this machine has, so this machine's nice. It's got a backup camera. I really like that. It helps quite a bit. I do recommend it. If you don't have one on an old machine, put one in. They're cheap to get, they're easy to set up. You can even get wireless ones. So I highly recommend it. It makes it so much better to run a machine with a backup camera. So it's so nice. This one's got lots of features. I really like it. It's got 2 power modes. Push this button here and I'll go from eco mode to high power mode. So HP plus, I call it beast mode. So I only run beast mode when I need that extra power. It's about 20% extra power. Be careful with it. It runs it really fast, and it's got tons of power. So just be careful with it. You don't want to break your machine by running it too hard. So I run eco mode most of the time. It's fast enough, and it's in a safe speed, you know, setting. So, and power too, so you don't break your machine. Cats are solid though, so it's gonna be hard to break this thing. Other features you got, if you're running a blade on your excavator, if you have one, this is blade down and blade up. It's also got float features, so if I push it all the way forward, it drops the blade down and it floats it, so which is really nice for back dragging. Awesome. The blade helps so much, and I can push a lot of material with that. Really handy. I mean, it's amazing to have a blade on your machine, and for stabilization, that's awesome. So I do recommend that. You know, getting an excavator with the blade on it if you can. There's other features. I mean, you can open the windows if you want. I always keep it closed. I mean, I got air conditioning. It's a climate controlled cab, pressurized cab in here. So I got my air conditioning here, and I got a radio here. So that's really nice to have. There's not much storage in here. You know, you get a lot of adjustments on the seats, so try to be real comfortable with that and adjust it before you get going. So, you know, figure that out way ahead of time. A couple other features I added to this machine, which I think every machine should have. And let me close this door here, is a level. Now you see what I set up here? So that's really nice. It feels really cheap. So I can find my level grade really easily in this machine. And I got one up here. I had another actual level here, it fell off. I got to re-glue it back on. But that helps so much from getting me close. So that'll get me close to grade. Such a cheap upgrade. I don't know why excavators don't come with that. They should. Other features, you know, you got mirrors, so adjust those to the way you like it, and you know, figure that out before you get going. A few other things to know is, you know, again, you know, you got the warm up, you also got the cool down 5 minutes. So cool it down for 5 minutes. These motors do have turbos on it, and that's kind of the reason you're cooling it down, to cool down the turbos on the diesel motors. So that's really important. You don't want to burn out your turbo by not cooling it down. So make sure you do that. Other things, you know, maintain the machine, you know, just keep on it. And I got a couple things I got to do soon. It's warning me when I started it up, so I got to get on that. But I put a little tag here letting me know when the next oil change is. You know, the next one for me is at 3108 hours. I'm at 2756 right now, so I just changed oil not too long ago. So there's a few other things. I mean, you can see here there's charts to go over, and this one here tells you how much you can lift at what distance and what angle and all that. So go over that, know your machine that you're running, and read the manual. I recommend going over it. You know, a lot of guys say, oh, you're a chump if you got to read the manual. Well, you're a chump if you don't read the manual, because you're going to be breaking stuff and you're not going to know how to run your machine how you should. So don't be that guy. Just read the manual. You know, that's going to help out so much. So, you know, try your best to know its capabilities and the features of the machine. And so that's pretty much it, you know, for the controls and all that. Other than that is just figuring out the limits of the machine, what it can do, its reach, its capabilities, and the power it has, and you know, just getting used to that. Its stability, that's one of the biggest things. It's, you know, especially on unlevel ground, it's knowing how much you can push the machine before you get into the danger zone. And that's why I like this, having this level gauge. It's because it'll tell me once I get to about 15 degrees, I'm getting into the danger zone. So I want to stay within, you know, I'd stay around 10 degrees max. Any more than I'm kind of overworking in that position. So you want to figure out for your machine how you want to run it and how much you're going to push it, or how much you can. So, you know, that's going to take some time, and if you're good, it won't take too long. I mean, it's, you know, you'll realize if you're a natural or not pretty quick. So that's one thing you want to figure out quick. So I want to go over a couple tips and tricks on running excavators really quick. If you got a blade on your machine, use it a lot. Use it every time you're going to be digging for more than, you know, 10 seconds or so in one spot. Just drop it down and stabilize the machine and use it. It's going to help out a lot, and it's going to help with your undercarriage. It's going to take pressure off of it and save it. Use it on unstable ground, so to level yourself and, you know, get good at figuring out how you want to use that. A couple other tricks is you can move the machine or turn the machine by lifting it up with a bucket and the boom and stick, and manipulating the tracks to turn without tearing up the ground so much. Now you want to be careful with that, because if you're on really rocky ground, you don't want to be turning into a rocky outcrop and mess up your tracks. So soft ground, no problem. Try to use that technique. It'll help with save your undercarriage and help tear up the ground. But in rocky ground, be really careful doing that. I would just recommend what I call Austin Powers turn. Is just, you know, shimmying your way into the turn a bunch of times, back and forth, and slowly turn as you go. So, you know, I do that a lot because I got rocky ground and I want to be careful turning like that. So use your stick, boom, and bucket as a counterweight. That helps a lot when you're on unstable ground. I do that all the time. And you can see I got a lot of hills I'm working on, a lot of slopes and pads and all that. So I use that a lot. You know, position it far out if you need to stabilize yourself, or, you know, use it as a counterweight if you're going up a steep hill, and you'd be surprised where you can go by doing that. So that's one thing you want to be aware of, is use it to stabilize yourself, and you'll get better at it the more you run the machine. So, you know, that's another little trick you want to do, and you'll kind of come up with your own little tricks and tips. And one thing, when I'm on unstable ground, what I like to do is I like to shake the machine so I'll kind of shake the stick a little bit to see if the machine is stable or not. So if I'm on a sketchy spot and I can't really tell, you want to kind of shake the machine a little bit to see if you're stable. So that's what I'll do, is I'll stick it out there a little bit, and then, you know, just kind of jerk it back and forth, and then you'll feel the machine if it's rocking or not. If it feels solid, then you're pretty good. You know, if it starts to move a little bit, you want to reposition yourself. So that's another little trick you want to use when you're on unstable ground. Now for you guys on flat ground, I mean, I envy you guys. I mean, you got it made. I mean, that's easy. So this is not. So this is difficult. Other tips and tricks on running excavators, you know, for me, I think it's just using attachments for what they're made for, and getting the attachments for different uses is key. You know, you don't use the bucket to rip, get a ripper. Don't use the bucket to hammer, get a hammer. You know, that kind of stuff. Is just invest in the attachments that you need to invest in to do the work that you got to do. And so you can do it right, and you can save your machine and not beat it up. So I see a lot of guys just beating the crap out of their buckets, and you know, they won't invest in a ripper or a hammer, and they're just beating their machine up, and they end up breaking it, and it's costing more than what the attachment would have cost them. So just get the right attachments, figure out what you need, and do it right. You know, so that's really important, is, you know, get the right tools for the machines. There's so many options nowadays for different types of jobs you can do for excavators. It's one of the most versatile machines you can buy, and there's so many attachments you can get for these machines, and it's awesome. Quick coupler, speaking of attachments, get a quick coupler. Now this machine has a quick coupler, and it's a real true quick coupler. It's not one of those go pull the pins out, you know, get in and out of your machine a bunch of times coupler. That's not a quick coupler. That's kind of I call it a kind of quick coupler. Sorry, Andrew, I know you just got a machine like that and you're setting another one up, but this is the true quick coupler. I got a little switch over here to unlock my coupler. I tilt the bucket all the way, you know, towards me. It unlocks. I drop it, go to my other attachment, pick it up, and you'll see as I'm working in my other videos how fast I can reattach another attachment. I mean, I don't have to get out of the machine at all. The only time I do is when I'm running my hammer just to attach the hoses, and those are quick couplers too up there for the hoses, and they snap right on, and I turn the hydraulics on and I'm good to go. So that's fast. I mean, I save so much time, and I'm saving the customers so much money by having a quick coupler. If you don't, I mean, I see guys, and I hear about guys taking an hour to change out their hammer to the bucket. I mean, they got to pound the pins out, line it up, you know, screw on the hydraulic hoses, all that. It's a nightmare. Don't do that. You know, invest in a coupler, and you know, get rid of that hassle. You know, the quick coupler is gonna make your life so much better when you're running machines, especially excavators. So invest in a quick coupler, or try to buy one with it. Most of the cats come with them, so that's nice. I mean, this thing has a really nice heavy duty quick coupler, and it's awesome. It's called a pin grabber, and it's amazing. So I love that. Highly recommend getting the machine with that. The other thing you want to make sure is you got the right teeth on the bucket for the job you're doing. Now, you know, just figure out what you're going to be doing and adjust to it. Now, for me, I'm using it in pretty rocky conditions. These are not the right teeth for me. I mean, they're general use teeth. I'm just going to wear them down until they're done, and I'm going to replace them with some heavy duty teeth. So, you know, and I would recommend doing the same. I mean, don't just toss those teeth away. I mean, if you're in an area where you deal with a lot of dirt, and in some areas of rock, maybe save those teeth for the dirt and then put your rock teeth on there. But for me, I'm always going to be dealing with rock, so I'm not going to save these. I'm just going to wear them down, and I'm going to put rock teeth on there. So that's another thing you want to do, and it'll help out a lot in digging. So I might even do it soon, just because I need some heavy duty teeth on there, and it's going to help out for digging out rock. So one other little tip on that attachment kind of stuff. Another little trick I did in here, I put some of these blinds just for the sun, so you can see. That's kind of handy. When the sun's blazing in, it's intense, and I can't even really see, so I can see through this enough to work, and it'll help with the sun in my eyes. I mean, I can wear glasses too, but still sometimes it's just blazing in, so that's pretty handy. I put some shades on the side here, so I do recommend that. Or you can tint it. Don't get it too dark though, because you know, then you're always looking through dark tint, and that's not safe. So I don't want to tint mine. I want to be able to see the best I can see through it, and have that option to just, you know, have a shade. So that's nice. Most of them have sunroofs too, and you can open them up if you're working up high too, so you can see through that. This one's kind of faded. I got to clean that up. Yeah, so other than that, I mean, I'm just gonna turn this off. That's pretty much it. You know, I'll do an update on how to run excavators soon. If I you know, come up with any other tips or tricks that I think of that you guys need to know, or I'll just do an additional video on that. So So that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions or any comments about this or any additional information that I should have went over, let me know in the comments. You know, please subscribe and like the videos. Help me out on my channel. It is a new channel, and I need all the support I can get. Well, my wife's gonna shut me down, so I need you guys' help. All right, so I hope that helped you guys out. If you're new to running excavators, I really hope that that's going to help you. And, you know, good luck. Good luck out there. So I'll talk to you guys soon.